A nice little break. Mixed reviews on the break, okay? Well, I hope you ate and you're hydrating.
Beer is hydrating, right?
Ladies, they're a couple of powerhouses. So you need to be ready. Everybody in the first 2 rows should have your plastic that you cover yourselves with. It's a very interactive show.
It's like we're seeing Guar.
You never know. Regardless. It's Briana Buckmaster and Kim Briana! What you gonna do when you come for it? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you come for it? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you come for it? Bad girl, bad girl. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do when you come for it?
I went to really angrily kick over these bottles, and it literally was just like this. I felt really psychically going, Kim, I love you so much, but if you hurt any of this shit, we're done.
And you don't want to see Billy angry.
I would never. Billy, I would never.
You all thank you so much. Thank you.
No, I don't. And for me to avoid shiny flashing lights, that is a testament to how much I love you.
Leave them.
Hey, hi.
Hey! Rob Benedict, everyone.
So, Canadian's favorite daughter, Briana Buckmaster.
Thank you so much. Welcome to my home, y'all.
How long have you actually lived in Vancouver, in the Couve?
Lived?
Yeah.
9 years.
9 years before that, you're strictly Moose Jaw.
No, I lived in Toronto before that.
Toronto.
Yeah, for 5 years. It's pronounced Toronto, not Toronto.
I knew that.
I know you knew.
I'm Mr.
I just wanted you to tell all your friends, that's all.
Toronto, so it was Moose Jaw, Toronto.
Moose Jaw, Edmonton, Toronto.
Edmonton, Toronto, not the same
Vancouver. Edmonton, Toronto are different cities?
Got it.
Okay.
Is Toronto in Edmonton?
It would like to think so.
Well, I'm from America. You know what this audience and I have in common for the first time in the show?
What?
All of us don't like Trump.
I mean, how many of us are Canadian?
It's the Canadian audience.
Did you ask them if they voted today? I'm American, but I'm pretty sure there's voting going on. I voted. Somewhere around. Everybody voted? Yeah. How late are the polls open? Someone? Till 8. Till tomorrow.
Do they have
You guys really did legalize pot, didn't you?
do they have
I know, we should just leave them open tomorrow, because people gotta fucking sober up and shit.
surely in Canada they have like I had a thing clause where you could vote the next day.
A thing where you can vote the next day?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you know what, that's cool. Just come for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'll write a ballot up for you. I'll mail it somewhere. We got you, yeah. That's true, we do have that. Yeah, but point being, if you haven't gone, there's a break today. Get your ass out there and vote.
And tell your American friends to vote in our upcoming elections. Very important.
We know what happens when people don't.
Yeah, that's right. But enough politics. You guys are awesome, and I bequeath the stage to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, live stream. Michael, go practice. Hi, Michael, I love you. You're my scarecrow. It's cute. Let's stop with their shit now. Now I'm gonna push the buttons. Oh. Damn it. That was legitimately terrifying. Rob, I'm so proud of you. What? Someone has eyes in the back of his head. Yeah. He's just got his glasses back there, and then he goes, guys, I can't find my glasses. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. Oh, shit, there he is. Us announcing on the microphone we were going to fuck with his shit. That also might have had something to do with it. We made this whole panel just making jokes about Rob. Loving on him. That was just our way of asking you to come back, but apparently we're actually gone for real now, as he should. He's got some practicing to do. Hi, everyone. Who was here at Vancouver? We've come a long way since then, haven't we? Depends how you look at it.
Not really.
Depends how you think of that sentence. So I set him up, you smack him down. That's right. hardcore. I feel like we should bring back the porn-coover before the Swain comes back. At least just to make the band uncomfortable.
I'm so tired, though.
Tomorrow then, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
When it's the girls. The vagina panel.
Okay, alright, okay. All right.
Do that. Great. I have something to look forward to.
Yes.
Shall we take some questions?
Yes.
All right. Let's go over here because I'm looking that way.
Yes.
Hello. Good seeing you too. So I want to start by saying, Kim, I remember watching on Instagram your posts of your tattoo and the evolution of that. It's beautiful, by the way. I can tell there was a lot of thought put into it. So my question is, for both of you, if Jody and Donna were to get tattoos, maybe even matching tattoos, like what kind of elements do you think they would include? Where would it be?
They would be matching?
If maybe, or not.
I feel like if they were going to be matching, we'd have to really think about that.
Jody is, I'm going to go boring and literal on you because after celebrating the life of Ace of Fox, she got a goddamn anti-possession tattoo.
Oh.
What's wrong with her?
See, I feel like Donna is like I feel like she is just a small town girl and like...
Living in a lonely world.
And what did she say?
The midnight.
I think it's anywhere.
Yeah,
But yeah, Georgia works.
To make me laugh, my tum-tum hurts, y'all.
So here's my pitch. I have a pitch.
Okay, give it.
You finish what you were going to say.
I was going to say, I feel like Donna would have gotten a tattoo when she was like 15 in high school, and it would be something like a yin-yang tramp stamp. I feel like she'd get something that she'd be like, yeah, this is cool. And then she would just own it. She'd be like, hiya, you want to see my tramp stamp? She'd be like, I got it when I was 15. I know. What can you do?
Here's my pitch for all you writers out there. I think Donna would get Jody drunk and would convince Jody that they should each get tattoos of handcuffs because they're cops.
I feel like Briana should convince fucking Kim to just do that. Kim is so much more like smart about her tattoos. I'm very like a Smurf drinking beer. Sure, that's a great idea. I have a girlfriend who actually has a Smurf drinking beer on her shoulder. She's a teacher and has 2 children now, but man, did she think that was a good idea when she was a youngster? And now it's my favorite joke. Thanks, Megan. Anyway.
I love all of that.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. Huzzah.
So a lot of people underestimate the work that goes into acting and the homework you got to do. So I was wondering, what's your favorite part of prep?
Okay, one more time.
What's the favorite part of prep before we start shooting or start working on
The lubricant.
A role?
My husband's version of the other person's lines when he's telling them with me.
That's always good. My husband is Mexican, so he can't help but really have a thick Mexican accent when he's reading Sheriff Jody's lines. That's probably my favorite thing. I love, okay, ready for it? I get really weird when I start talking about acting. I love something called verbing, which is a technique that I learned in theater school, but I find it very useful. I find it hard to do if I was doing a whole play. It's a lot of dialogue, but easy to do when I'm doing audition sides or doing film television, because usually there's actually not that many lines. There's more action in TV. And so verbing is something that I use to make a line very specific. So if the line was like, I hate you, I wish you were never born, a verb could be, I hiss. It could be, I hate you, I wish you were never born. Or it could be, I weep. It could be, I hate you, I wish you were never born. And it could really change a line and make a line very specific and very active to the actor. And I think it makes for very interesting acting when we are trying to do things to another actor as opposed to feel things. I think that those are shitty actors who are just like, watch me feel. You're not feeling for yourself. yourself. You're feeling at me. Your feeling is very, very active.
Did you say she's feeling you now?
Yeah. Anyway, I love doing homework. I love being like a student when I get a script. Go.
Wait, but that was my answer. Was my husband's version of Dean. It's fucking adorable.
I want you to do an impression of your husband doing an impression of Dean.
Let's see here. Nope, Jody, I'm fine.
Very accurate.
Right? He actually was an actor, and so he's got some skills, and he doesn't actively try to imitate them, but there's still an undercurrent of imitating them because he knows the characters and knows my relationship.
Wasn't your husband, not to like go on and on about your husband, but wasn't he also a dancer?
Yes, he was a musical dance theater major,
Yes.
and to the level of he was on File to Go Into Cats on Broadway when it was running.
Wow.
Okay, so I brought this out because
I win!
she really does. But her husband is a photographer now, and he did some photos for us recently. And when we were doing them, this is me doing a photo. Be like, okay, Brianna, just this, don't, okay, don't. So what he would do is he would do like the perfect, and I'd just be
Sorry.
like, oh my God, can you take this photo for me? He would turn around and be like, it's more like this. And I'd be like, oh my God, because he's just like, when he's walking around, he's just like, you know, making tabs.
He's very shy and unassuming.
Totally.
So he doesn't really, but boy, you put him behind a camera and all of a sudden he's like, listen, listen bitches, come on,
Oh my God.
give it to me, you want to fuck me through the lens, that's right, come on. He's like, I'll have the proofs ready in a second.
Yes, it's amazing when like I see the dancer come out in him because it's so contrasting to what I feel I know him as. It's kind of amazing. Anyway, what was the question? Yeah. Oh, yeah, done. Yeah. I answered that, I win. Yay. Because you never know with me sometimes. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I look up to you both so much as women, as I'm sure many other people in this room do. And so my question is, you both are mothers and wives, and how do you remain so fiercely independent while still having that family aspect? And also, what other female role models do you look up to?
I look up to my daughter, actually. One of the answers to that question is something that she's teaching me more and more and more, which is that you can love deeply and still not give a shit. That's pretty much my answer. I am responsible to people who love me. I am not responsible for, with the exception of my child, but even then, as she indicates quite frequently, she's like, Mommy, I got it! All right there, Tomb Raider, rock it out. So I think also there's so much in my head, noise in my head about what a wife should be, what a mother should be, that was put in there by fear. By fear of being wrong, and fear of not being enough, and fear of not fitting a standard that is described as right, and if I don't fit right, then I must be wrong. And I am allowed to not listen to that voice. So ultimately, if I want a child who grows up and believes she deserves to be joyous and authentic and present, then I need to show her what the fuck that looks like.
I certainly have struggles, you know, with all of those things, with the balance, as you said. But something I've done recently is instead of looking for other people to look up to as examples, I started looking within myself and started to go, what makes me feel fulfilled? And what makes me feel like the most me? And as I find over the last year, I start to satisfy my own needs. I start to satisfy other people's needs easier. I stop needing less because I feel like I'm comfortable in what I have to offer myself. And then the world will bring things. It is kind of miraculous how once you start to find a little bit of inner peace, the world starts to open up for you. And so I don't think that there is one specific, there's a lot of people that I look up to in very different ways, but lately I've just been really focusing on what I can offer myself and therefore offer others. And I think that my daughter, I'm home very seldom, and my daughter, that has kind of been our life since she was born, because I started doing these conventions when I think she was 1. And it's so funny, whenever I say that I'm going to work, you know, I give her a kiss goodnight and say I'm going to work in the morning. She knows I'm getting on an airplane, but she thinks that I work on the airplane. She doesn't know where I'm going, so I'm actually bringing her tomorrow to the convention. I'm pretty excited about it. She's a pretty fucking funny kid. And she's used to be F-mom, so it's fine. Anyway, I think that I feel proud, and my husband feels the same way, that she will have an example of a woman who knows her worth and knows what she's put on this planet for, and therefore she herself will have more to offer this world.
I was wondering if you guys could pick like a Wayward AF theme song, what would it be for like the characters, like the group of characters, as well as like you as individuals?
Sorry? Like if we could pick a Wayward AF theme song, what would it be?
Yeah, like a badass bitch.
What was the name that one that we loved so much by Dorothy?
Oh, Freedom. Freedom by Dorothy. Go look it up now. Tweet Dorothy. Tell her how much we love her. Some fucking do. I love all of her songs, but yeah, there's a song called Freedom that both of us really specifically love. Thank you. That was very easy. Wow. Good work. Good work, you. Once in a while, when we're in a good mood, we'll be nice to ourselves. I think we should flip it. I think we should always try to be nice to ourselves, and when we're not in a good mood, be even nicer to ourselves. But make it a daily habit to say nice things to yourself. I like to look in a mirror and use my own name and say something nice to myself in a mirror. It feels fucking weird. But isn't that bad that that feels weird? Yeah. So let's all make that a new habit, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I come all the way from Yellowknife, Northwest Territories.
Northwest Territories?
Yeah,
yeah, I know where that is. Fucking Northwest Territories. I've never been there.
It's already snowing there, actually. It's like plus 22. But my question is, what is your favorite part about playing your guys' characters? And how did you get so good at the accent?
The accent is like, it's not that hard for me, you know. I'm better at American accents than I am about European accents. But Saskatchewan, where I grew up, was right about North Dakota. It's very close to Minnesota. So it's not that crazy for me to know that accent. It's very similar to a Saskatchewan accent and a Canadian accent. But my favorite thing about playing Donna would just is to especially these days, is to play a character that has some depth and some gravitas and some grounding to her, while also getting to be a comedic character and getting to be light and not having to be pretty and not having to be there solely for the advancement of a male, goal. Donna gets to be, she gets to be her own person in her own right, and it sounds really weird to say, but that is very seldom that happens in television.
I have to say, I have two things. The first one has nothing to do with Jodie at all, and it's the connections that I've made because of getting to play Jodie. Be it friends in my life, or friends that I haven't hugged yet in my life. Playing Jodie on Supernatural has been the door I needed to walk through to become the person I want to be. So I like me a lot better now because of that opportunity. And the other thing is chopping the heads off of things.
Thank you.
You can always pretend it's Trump.
I was wondering, a little bit about what your experience has been like on the set of Supernatural. Curious because I'm an actor here in town, and I've been in the room a couple of times for the show, and I'm also heard the stories about other actors trying to break other actors on camera.
Do you have a prank question?
Well, I don't.
You don't want to ask a prank question, but you still want to ask a prank question. Just ask a prank question today. You're safe here.
If I get
shot.
a role as a day player, am I going to be the target of somebody, or do you need like a 3-day stint?
Oh,
or something?
no.
They would never do that.
No. They are actually.
They only pick on their friends. You're not their friends. They only pick on people who they know are going to get an opportunity to get them back.
Well, and also that's punching down, right? Like these two guys are consummate heroic professionals.
You come on set, they'll treat you with
treat
absolute
you
respect.
like gold.
We come on set, they treat us like a piece of shit.
Because it's like, if you don't get picked on, it's like being invited to the birthday party but not getting cake.
Well, no, because I was talking about this earlier. They don't pick on me. They have picked on me offset. So I know they love me somewhere in their hearts. But I'm fragile on set. I am really aware of the fact that this is their party. It is not my job to walk in and kick the DJ aside and start playing Depeche Mode. Because that's like, you don't. So I think they respect that. They respect each actor's process. And when they play, they're playing. And it is with joy and love and an invitation. It isn't, oh, it's funny when I do that. It's with that. And if somebody doesn't find some level of joy, let me rephrase that. If I don't find some level of joy, because I'm sure there may be people that are completely tormented and may or may not deserve it. I'm not one of them. They are very generous. It's playful.
Yeah, they really are not going to pull pranks on people that they don't know, is really what it is, because they want to make sure you would be comfortable with it. They pull pranks on people that they know are going to be comfortable with it, and that they prefer to pull pranks on people that are going to try to pull pranks back, because then it's like, oh, it's on. Okay. Let's do it. Because they really are just children. They just want to play. Thank you. Hello.
I'm very excited for the upcoming Freddie Mercury biopic, and I was wondering if you guys could play any rock or pop star from history in a biopic, who would you want to play?
Oh, wow.
Lady Gaga.
I can see that.
Yeah, you would. I'll be too old by the time that will roll around, but that's okay. That's my dream.
I don't know enough about rock stars' lives. I mean, like, I don't
Joan
know.
Jett.
They already did Joan Jett.
Yeah.
Pat Benatar.
I thought about Pat Benatar, but I don't know anything about her life. Like, I don't know. She might be a knitting expert. I don't know. I know Rob Benedict. No, wait, I take it back. I do know. Susie Sue.
Whoa, Susie Sue.
Yeah, Susie Sue. Susie and the Banshees.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Get her a mixtape.
My people know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I just want to tell you that every panel I've ever seen you guys in, I always come away with something new to think about and ponder and think about adapting in my own life. Like here where you were talking about being responsible to someone and not for someone. So thank you for that, but that's not my question. Briana, would you like a Tums?
Oh, you're very sweet. I've had 17 of them. I'm just like walking like, I'm actually feeling better. You're very sweet, and thank you so much.
You both have had a lot of different projects and successes, especially since you've had the visibility that Supernatural has offered you. Briana, you had your CD and your concert. Kim, you've had a lot of really interesting guest starring roles. You get to express yourselves freely, like in panels such as this. What would you like to accomplish next year as a project you have never done before? Like, what new goal would you like to set for yourself?
Like stuff that we can't say right now.
Well, no, I don't mean like stuff that maybe you already have on the back burner, but like
Be in a Marvel movie. While we're
sounded like a pony. I think I would like to be on Broadway. Or in a play, or a musical. Really, I don't think I could do a musical. I'm fucking tired. And as we talked about earlier, I have a stomach ache, so that sounds hard. Oh, don't
guys.
be me. My fault.
Hi guys,
You don't
should we do one
drink.
more question or do you want to sing?
Please do one more question.
Please do one more question. You can answer too.
Okay.
Hi.
It's not correct, I said it.
Oh.
How did you get started with?
Do you have any idea how my levels of restraint? They've been taxed. First, no pushing shiny buttons. Second, not going down and playing with the puppy.
Anisha, she's you. Basically.
New Leash on Life. How did we get started with them?
Oh, how did we get started with New Leash on Life?
That was your question? Right.
Well, we had to find a charity. And,
Do you need some attention now?
No, I'm stretching. I
This is strangely what question needs attention. No. Kim, take the question. Rob, it's okay. No. It's good. It's okay. Come on. God benedict everyone.
I was familiar with prison programs. I wanted, it was suggested when we had it that we do something that would support animals because I'm batshit crazy about animals. And I wanted something that would be symbiotic because it breaks my heart when any creature that is in need, be it human or animal, is not tended to. So we thought that this was a very wayward way of changing the world. Of taking dogs off of death row and putting them into prisons where they are rehabilitated and then given forever homes in a way that also rehabilitates prisoners so that their chances of coming back into jail are decreased dramatically. So thank you. I just found it. And I love them.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's the rule number one in theater. I'm staging you, and I didn't mean to. I thought I was just quietly.
I
thought I was quietly stretching out my side because I'm old.
Yeah.
It's something an old man does in the grocery store. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stretch my hamstrings. So you're answering this honest question. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Do you know what's my favorite? Every once in a while, Rob will come up to me and he'll go, hey, come here, feel this. Does that feel weird to you? You'll have some like weird click in his shoulder.
Wait, listen to what my knees do when I get on the stairs.
Exactly. That's great. We take good care of you.
My favorite, though, my favorite story is when we all went to dinner and the woman carded me. And every time I didn't hear what they say, I look at me and go, what did they say? And she carded me, and I said, what did they say? What did she say? She wants your ID, Grandpa. I said, well, that should be it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Briana Buckmaster. Couple things. I don't want you to forget that Briana and Kim are going to be singing tonight at karaoke. And they're going to be singing on stage with us tomorrow night with the Sunday night special. It is going to be special. I've also contractually obligated to tell you that Loud This Way has a new CD out. It's a brand new CD. It's acoustic versions of our songs.
If you were to write an autobiography, which you should, it would be the most entertaining thing I would ever read.
Or just like, basically a sketchbook. Because I'm too fucking lazy. Go ahead, sorry.
But what would be the title of that book?
Oh, I actually have this planned. My friend Scott and I have discussed this a lot. The title, it's an autobiography. I do have another book that I actually would like to write someday. It's not titled this, but my autobiography would be called The Status of My Uterus.
I think I saw a quote of this somewhere. This is the funny thing is that every time I hear something that's pretty ridiculous, I go, and that's the name of my autobiography. I, of course, can't think of something right now, but if I was to, you know, right now name my autobiography, it would be, it was a quote I read somewhere that was like, it sounds like a bad idea. What time do we meet up? It's very mean. You probably shouldn't. Let's do it.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And what time are we meeting up?
Yes. Awful idea, yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for everything you guys do. You're perfect.
You say we're perfect?
Yeah.
I'm like farting so much up here, you have no idea.
When have you guys been most proud of each other, like in acting or in real life?
Most proud of each other? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, just think of it. Okay, so I am met. I mean, I would be a dick to be like proud of Kim in her acting. I mean, she's been doing it forever, and I think that it's like, what's so funny? I don't get it. I just think it'd be like,
She's been doing it since talking started.
no, I mean like it would be
She didn't create a Del Arte.
She Hillary
Shakespeare.
She is Shakespeare. No, I think it'd be patronizing for me to be proud of your acting. But personally, I feel like I'm proud of Kim because when I met Kim, she was very fear-based, and she will admit that. And a lot of things that I wanted to do, even within the circuit, she thought for a while that I was here to replace her, and I was like.
I was okay with it. I was telling her, she was okay, so here's what you need to know. Here's the people. There's the key to the city. Fly, beautiful spirit, fly.
I was like, no, you're.
I'll be here waiting.
Let's go. Come on, change the bathroom. Hurry up, let's go. And now she will dive in head first on her own. She doesn't need me to be like, what are you doing? Get over here. Stop it. Stand up. Put your pants back on. Let's go.
But I'm peeing.
Get some fucking tissue. Yeah, and so I think that I feel very proud of her because now she doesn't need anybody to invite her to do things. She comes and goes, hey guys, this is what I have to offer, and they're all like, oh thank God you're here. Which is what they always were like, but she didn't know that. Accept it. Accept it. Stop.
Okay.
Alright.
Thank you. I agree with the acting thing, primarily because to me, pride implies some sort of surprise involved. Like, oh, you did it. Like for the first, and well, not even condescending, but like, there's a surprise and a joy that something has been attained. And I'm never surprised when you're brilliant acting. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. In fact, maybe I should be more vocal about how impressed I am with your talent. Because I have a tendency, I was talking to someone else about this, I very much have the tendency to assume people that I think are brilliant clearly must know they're brilliant, so why do I, yeah, you're fucking awesome. Oh shit, I should tell you you're awesome. So right here in front of everybody, I'm going to make a commitment to tell you you're awesome.
Thank you.
Because yeah, I will. I'll be like, well, you know you're really good at that. So, and that's not the same as saying, you're really fucking good at that. And I love watching you perform.
I've never been like, I wish Kim complimented me more. But I get your point, and I will also reflect.
Okay. So yeah, that is an example. We do make each other better, and I enjoy that immensely. However, we are also very, very good friends. And that includes shit you don't get to know about. So recently, my proudest, and I say recently because I am always inspired by Briana's willingness to take a note, as we say. To say, but I'm doing my best and I don't know how to do it otherwise. Help me. And when someone says, well, you could try it on your head, she's like, fucking going on my head then. like, no matter how much pain is inside, her resiliency and her desire to overcome that and become the person that she wants to be is dominant. But recently we had an incident where she was like, what do I do? And I was like, you don't do anything. And she was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Don't do anything? Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fucker, fuck you. Fucking fucker. And she didn't do anything. And it was right when everything in you is screaming, but it burns. Please put the fire out. And the answer is let it burn away the shit that should burn away. And you do. You come out, that's where phoenixes come from. Yeah. So yeah, that was the moment I'm proud of with Briana.
Thanks, darling. Yes, Kim and I truly, we really do have very different emotional skill sets. So we really do make each other like a very whole person. So when I'm like, I wouldn't be able to function properly without Kim, it's like, I actually mean it. I'm like, I wouldn't know what to do in the times where I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know what to do in the times I know what I should do. And don't wanna.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. Who asked that question? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hiya. So, you guys are my icons of imagination. You inspire me to keep imagining and dreaming bigger. So I wanted to say, I believe Wayward Sisters is not over yet. I still believe it's going to happen. But in the meantime, how can we support you in the projects you're working on now?
You'll find out Monday. And I won't dissuade your dreams. I will say that a television show on the CW or any other network that you might get of the Wayward Sisters that was the pilot that you saw will really not happen.
Aww.
The contract's over. Like, our contracts are up. People have moved it. Like, it is a business industry.
I've been rejected from 3 other jobs since then.
Yeah.
Like, this is the business.
Yep, this is the business. However, instead of thinking that the television show was bigger than Wayward, what if Wayward is actually bigger than the television show and we don't fucking need it anyway?
Exactly. Because that's the reality. I love how you guys feel about Wayward Sisters, as you should. And that was the first thing that popped in my mind when I found out that it didn't get picked up. I was just like, I can find another job, but this is a thing to so many people. And I'd never experienced that before. Every time I felt a rejection, I felt it, kind of by myself. And anybody who fucking listened to me rant about it. But this is, you know, we were talking about this a bit last night at the PJ party, is that once the show didn't get picked up and our contracts were done, I felt this freedom. I felt like we'd been given our thing back, you know? And suddenly the world was wide open, and now there's kind of endless possibilities. So instead of being sad about the loss of something, let's be elated about the gain of something even bigger.
Yeah, and and what we would like to remind you is that just because someone indicated that they didn't want to hear you doesn't mean you don't have the right to a voice or that you have to shut the fuck up.
So, if I'm hearing you, this means that this is actually giving you the freedom to go be wayward.
Yes!
Yeah.
Be wayward as fuck if you will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful, and you? I mean, I have a bit of a tummy ache. I had some soup earlier. I think it was like too much acid in the soup. I also had some coffee. I tried to go have a poop, but it didn't work. I'm okay.
Starting yesterday.
What's that?
Here's the pizza.
The pizza. I know, and I had
Don't
some
eat
pizza
too fast.
at the PJ party. I ate it too fast.
And there was
then
a lot of candy.
A lot of candy, and I ate the candy too fast.
The maple cookies couldn't
And I
have
slept
done that.
okay. This morning I woke up, I had 2 Cliff Bars because I didn't have any breakfast. We went to the gym. We did go to the gym. Then we had a,
we had a phone
meeting.
call.
We had a phone call.
Had a thing.
Now we came here, I was feeling okay.
Yeah, I was really
and then
good.
I had
Thank
the
you for your
soup.
question.
I had the soup. Yes, milady.
That was great. So I don't know if you've ever gotten this before, but something I've gotten more than a few times was you're going to have a hard time in the industry because you're too nice or you care too much. And so my question is like, for ladies such as yourselves who are like strong and loving and fierce and caring, how do you combat that mentality and say, no, I can be a nice, caring person, a woman, and also still be just as badass and hardworking?
What a frightened fucker to tell you that.
I was thinking, I was like, I've never heard somebody go, you won't make it because you're too nice. Well, suck my dick, my friend. Ridiculous. But, that being said, I mean, your experience is your experience, and I'm not going to begrudge that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, so now here's my question. Are you asking how to respond when people tell you that? Or are you afraid they might be right and asking for affirmation that you still get to be authentic and who you are and be kind and can still succeed?
Kind of the latter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's the thing. People equate being nice with not having boundaries. That is not true. In fact, when I draw clear boundaries that I know are from a place of strength and self-love, which I give myself permission sometimes to have, I'm working on it, it's a practice. But when I draw a boundary, right, I'm getting there, then I can be more nice, because I know nothing I give will take from me. So I can be generous, I can be honest, I can be authentic when I have a clear boundary drawn. If I don't have a clear boundary drawn, then I'm not being nice, I'm being a pushover. Then I'm being a doormat. Then I'm not being of service to anyone because I'm actually just shriveling up. It's not nice. It's not nice to yourself. So as long as you are kind to yourself first, you can be as kind to the world as your heart wants to be.
Yeah, and suck my dick. Had suck my dick.
And shit.
Thank you. I have nothing to add to that. That would be pleasant. Kim was so nice about it. Hello.
Hello. So this actually is a question for Kim.
Brianna answers it. She's going to answer it.
You don't know this
She
trick?
answers my questions way better than I do.
Unless it's a sad. Is it a sad question?
No, actually.
Okay, great. Give it.
Experience question. So I'm a diehard Trekkie, and
Say it again.
I'm a diehard Trekkie.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, you got this, babe. You got it.
Star Trek Voyager, and Kim, you were Ensign Lindsay Ballard.
Sorry?
You were Ensign Lindsay Ballard on Star Trek Voyager. Ensign Lindsay Ballard.
I know. Ensign Lindsay Ballard. I know. Sorry, Ballard. Yes, I was.
I was wondering, what was your experience being on the Star Trek Voyager set, or just in Star Trek in general?
Well, listen. The makeup chair alone. I would come into work. I'd be like, hey, gals, or guys. Hey everyone, how was everyone's weekend? And they'd be like, oh Kim, you and your ways. And I'd come in and I'd sit down in my usual chair. It was hot pink, because I asked it to be hot pink, so they made it so. And I'd come in, and Trek makeup is you think that it takes a long time, but they're actually just Halloween masks that we got from the dollar store. So I'd whip that sucker on. I'd walk down the hall. People would be offering me sandwiches as I walked down the hall because they know I have low blood sugar. So I would mow those babies down. And then I'd go, and on set, I would see tremendous actors such as
Kate Mulgrew.
Teresa?
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew. Kate Mulgrew. She's one of my, dear friends. One of my best friends in the world. Also, I'd give a high five to Robert Picardo. Aaron Tardo?
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah, and he and I, we had a... So, it was a while before we were able to high five again. But we got there. So, that's just a regular day for me on set of Star Wars. Answer that question, please.
I can't now. The short version is Kate Mulgrew is amazing and called the executive producers to to actually tell them to hire me. She was such an instrumental teacher on that set, and they were all kind as fuck, and I danced on the transporter. I was on the transporter and I got up there and they had everything ready and I was like, hang on a second, I'm on the transporter. They said you'd be surprised how many people have to do that. So it was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. So my best friend and I are actually from Saskatchewan.
Woo! Where are you from in Saskatchewan?
Regina.
Regina. It rhymes with fun, am I right? Right. Yes, go ahead.
I was wondering, how do you think a character on Supernatural would be like if they were from Saskatchewan?
They sure wouldn't last long. They would. I think they'd be probably a lot like Donna, to be honest. I think that, do you know what I get? I mean, I don't know about Supernatural, so this is why I say they'd be a lot like Donna, is I play Donna, and so I have a lot of characteristics of Donna. And what I get a lot in my life is a lot of, where are you from? Because I am my father's daughter, and my father could literally have a conversation with a park bench. Saskatchewan people are very friendly, and they will literally have a conversation with anybody. So when I was in Los Angeles, I would have like a full-on conversation with somebody in Whole Foods, and they'd be like, okay. Sure, okay, sure. Take care. It's kind of terrifying to people, so I think that would be their superpower. It just scare everybody with their friend like that. Yeah, final answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah.
Mr. Ugly Pizza Face Man.
Oh yeah, it's a good monster.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Hello.
First things first. Oh my god. Kim, those pants are fucking.
I know. It's the first thing I said to her. It's always fun on a Friday morning as we see each other at the car to find out what each other is wearing. We're always like, cute, cute. Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those? Love it. Anyway,
these came from my sister for my birthday. I don't know where she found them. Sorry. Shout out to my sister.
So my question is actually sort of touchy. In the fact that as you are both incredible actors, you are incredibly talented, incredibly beautiful, but here's the thing. Society wants us to look and act a certain way, which neither of you do. Thank you. How do you fight that in your jobs? Or is it actually that big of a deal, or have you guys got?
Oh no, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. We literally, I can say this now because we're not under contract, it's like we were told last year to stop swearing in our panels. So that worked out well, didn't it?
We actually, to be fair, they were willing to make a compromise with us. We had to stop swearing when we talked about the show because they were like,
the spin-off.
The spin-off, yeah, we couldn't talk about the spin-off and cuss because they were like, we're trying really hard to get footage to sell you to the network and stay on the up thing.
That's my new band name.
I get called a lot of things, but my favorites, obviously I love being called a bitch because that to me is just like a leader, someone who's heard, someone who gets what they want. So basically, yeah, if I were a man, I'd be fucking president, although he's...
No, please don't do that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like, if you have all those things and you're a woman, people call you a bitch. You have all those things, you're a man, they call you a leader. So I don't mind being called a bitch. Somebody once told me that I was a little rough around the edges, which I thought was hysterical. I was like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to be offended by that. Would you want me to be pretty and smooth and light and airy? I was like, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I get called a lot of things, and sometimes they hurt, and sometimes I consider them, and I wonder if I'm wrong and I should change. But what I do is I surround myself with people who go, hey, And I literally, every time that happens, somebody in my life that I come to with these issues, anybody, even from recent times back to 10 years ago, any kind of issue I come to and I go, I think that maybe I need to change. They go, hey, come on, snap out of it. There's always somebody. So my advice would be to surround yourself with people who know you really well, that when you have those outsiders who are doing and saying those things to you, they're really just doing it because they're scared of you. You know that, right? We all know that, right? People are mean because they're scared. Dogs bite because they're scared. So we empathize with these people, and then we go on as we were. That's my advice.
So you have nothing to worry about because the world had better take stock of these two amazing people.
Get it?
Bless your heart. Thank you. Did you want to add to that, Kimberly?
Well, I have the experience, people, there is an idea, and I say people, and then I realize it's just in my head because nobody's ever told me. But when I was like, what's the most rebellious hair color I can have?
Gray.
Gray, natural gray. You know, what is it that I do that offends people? I express myself in a way that they can't question what's going on here. What is it that, sometimes there's this idea that being a female means you shouldn't be a human. And I've decided that I can't do that. So, I can either fail at trying to be what other people feel they'd be more comfortable at, or I could succeed at who I want to be. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just, this is just, it offends people because I'm expressing myself. It offends people because we get old. It offends people because you don't like the fact that I understand sexuality. It offends people. Whatever it is, if you're offended, it is not my intention, but it is your shit, not mine.
Hallelujah.
So I'm all the way from New Brunswick.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. I've never traveled a day in my life. And I've
Never traveled?
no. And I was in a bad car accident 8 weeks ago with whiplash. But I
Oh,
still made it here to see you guys.
Well, round of applause.
And,
Thank you for being here.
and I wanted to ask each of you a question, if that's okay.
Okay.
So first one's for Kim.
Yes.
Now, I grew up watching you in Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. And that was my favorite. So my question to you is, what was your favorite acting role?
What?
What was your favorite acting role? Like, what did you enjoy doing the most?
I have two answers. One is I played Viola in a production of Twelfth Night in Spring Green, Wisconsin. That was, yeah, it's okay. 3 Shakespeare nerds out there. And honestly, the other one would be Sue in Kings of Con.
Yeah.
Sue, yeah, I love Sue. They were like, Sue's gonna be you, only bigger. I was like, how are you gonna do that? They did that.
And
I told you to go fuck yourself. I
I
didn't
don't know how it works out usually with acting, but your character of Donna, I noticed that there's a major difference between your personality and Donna's personality from watching this panel. So what I'm wondering is, how was it that you came to the decision to portray Donna in the way that you did?
Well, a lot of that is credit to the writers. Eric Carmelo, I'm gonna fuck this up. I think he wrote that first episode. I think he maybe co-wrote it with somebody. I'm the worst. That's who? Oh, they know. Paul Schneider? Nicole. I thought it was a girl. Nicole and Eric wrote that first episode, and they wrote her with an accent. They wrote her as a happy-go-lucky character. The rest of it was kind of a character that I decided upon when I came into the room. Phil Segregia was the director, and so when I came in for the callback, now mind you, at that time Donna was just a one-off character with a couple small scenes, and he was like, okay, we need her to have an accent. And I was like, oh yeah, you betcha. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. And we went off. I improvised a little bit, talked to him because there was some football game. Oh, it was Rough Riders. Yes, thank you. There was a Rough Rider game, and I kept going on about the Rough Riders, but Donna was talking about the Rough Riders, Cool Riders, right? And he thought that was funny. But when I came in for, I remember the fitting, he was like, I came for a wardrobe fitting after I got the part. He was like, how have I never met you before? And I had not, I think that Supernatural is maybe my, I think it was maybe my 3rd television job ever. And I had not really gotten into many rooms because it's kind of hard to break in, and I was in my 30s, and that's big, you're almost dead if you're a woman in this industry in the 30s. And I was like, oh, I don't audition for TV. And he was like, oh, you do mostly features? And I was like, I know, little Phil. He was just like so happy and proud and floored. And so he pitched the idea for the donut scene, which was not written into the script. And so he was like, I think he had clocked that I like to have a good time, and I sure do. But he was like, oh, he knew that from my resume that I had a comedy background, and he was like, I have an idea, like, Jensen, Dean's character, is a bit of an eater. And he's like, it'd be really funny if you came in, and while you guys were talking about this stuff, you both were eating these powdered donuts. And I was like, oh, God, that's great. That's a great idea. Now, cut to me and going on set, that first scene, I was so nervous. I just didn't want to fuck up. And when Jensen tells the story, he tells it like, oh man, she really held her own. I was like, yeah, something like that. I was just nervous. I just didn't want to screw up. And so every time he tried to like really make me laugh, I was like, I'm not laughing. I don't know how much trouble I'll get into if I laugh. And I remember in the rehearsal, I guess you're not supposed to like dive in to the props in the rehearsal. I didn't know that. So during the rehearsal, I just like dove into that powdered donut and it fucking went everywhere. And the crew and everybody's like, oh no, she really went for it, didn't she? And I think that they were impressed by that because they saw that as fearless, and really I was very fearful. I was just like, it's better to go all the way than come back. So the short answer of that very long answer was that a lot of that character was written for me. The stuff that I've been able to bring since has been an honor, and it has been a group effort from other actors that I work with, from Jared Jensen, from the directors that I work with, but it really is a testament to the actors and the show.
Well, I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep healing.
Hey,
It's so good to see you.
back at ya.
So, you both are two incredible, powerful, beautiful women that I look up to a lot. So I was wondering, so what advice would you give to others regarding self-love? Like, or I know it's an ongoing process, so what is something that has helped you on your journey of self-love or like self-care?
Kimberly?
That's such a big question. And I think the tiniest answer is remind yourself that you're worth it in the first place. And when you forget, find someone else to remind you.
Yeah, and with that and make it a habit. We unfortunately as humans make it a habit to be not so nice to ourselves and everyone.
Touché. Anyway, that's it. Splitting the Seams is what it's called. And it's for sale. It's not for sale for the general public right now, but we got it for you, Vancouver. We got it for you. Right?
I signed up for karaoke. Nope, for Bon Jovi.
So that's not what